actually one of the higher figures actually for a libertarian candidate.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Auditor Heupel, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's that?
Waiting for you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. First item on the agenda, if there's no changes to the agenda, entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Weiss. Second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, we'll open the meeting up for any public comment. Does anyone wish to address the commission this morning on any item that's not on the agenda? The room is empty. Anybody out there online or on the phone? I'm sorry, we do have guests in the room, so if either one of you'd like to, I apologize, I didn't mean empty, so. All right, seeing none, we will move on. Next up, Rachel Kipley, Fairgrounds Parks Manager. General fair update, I have not seen her come in. She's probably on her way. There was a surplus sale yesterday, she's gonna update us on results of that. We'll just move on to the consent calendar and come back when Rachel gets here.
Okay. Approval of the general meeting minutes of September 3rd, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, now we'll back up to Rachel Kipley. Morning, Rachel.
There's some construction out there. How are you guys?
Good, and you?
Good.
It's the season.
Yeah. Well, we're still getting the numbers in, so in the next couple weeks I'll come in with a full recap, the sheet you're familiar with all of the income, obviously the expense side of it, we won't know until the end of the year, but things are looking pretty well. I gave you guys 2 days after the fair that ticket recap, so we're sitting just below 1.1 million as far as ticket sales, so we're pretty excited about that. But I did want to come in and just give you some just more recap stuff that's non-numbers, because there's more to be told than just what the numbers are. So first thing is the rodeo nights. They went really well. We sold out both nights. In fact, you might have noticed on the southeast corner we added more bleachers on the ground, so that was able to get us about 300 to 400 more people left in the seats, so that helped out. We also had our new ticket vendor, eTix, was on site most of the week. That went really smoothly. We were excited to have them there. Obviously an expense to do that, but when you have the first time, we've had ticket problems here in the past, and we don't want to go back to those days, so it's nice to have boots on the ground to make sure that the first year went smoothly. Tuesday was phenomenal. The $2 Tuesday event seems to really get people out earlier, and a lot of people, so that was good. That coupled with the vendor committee decided to open all the indoor and outdoor vendors at 11 a.m. Normally they aren't open until 5 that night, so that really helped people come try the food, wander around, make some purchases. So we've been hearing really good things about the indoor vendors, being excited about that. And in fact, some of them were like, well, can we do the $2 Tuesday too? So there's some vendors that want to participate in that as well. Carnival was well attended, you'll get those numbers as well. 4-H livestock, the cool weather really helped with the animals, being able to you know, a lot of times if you have a very expensive animal and it's going to be a very hot week, you have a hard decision. Do I really want to bring it to the fair and risk some of the other shows you might have down the road? We also had the Junior Point show that we offered. North Dakota's never been able to get the points in South Dakota for the first year ever. Becca and Mackenzie and those guys worked on getting that dual accreditation so that you can come down. So that pulled a lot of the North Dakota folks down, which is a great thing, but next year we have a little room to grow and build, because they had assumed they could find a place to stay and they didn't book ahead. So some growing pains there, but a big tribute to them nonetheless. And then of course the Farmers Union Ag Expo was awesome. The fact that we didn't have any money put into that building and how it turned out, I hope everybody has a chance to go check it out. The day those piglets were being born, holy crap. You couldn't even get in that door. It was just amazing. So just a really great partnership that we're excited to have, and the the knowledge of the kids that were working that thing. I mean, they could answer any question that you had, and so the livestock committee was really excited about that, because not only was it something that Brown County didn't have to pay for, but also just the caliber of the help that was in there, and it didn't take them away from the tasks in the other livestock barns and areas, so they were pretty excited about that. Wednesday was our challenge, obviously. We always bank on rain coming, but you don't bank on 3 inches. So that was unfortunate, because Primrose has been such a good partner for us, and for them to have to cancel their senior day was unfortunate. But we did keep in close contact with that, and we got things moving as we could throughout the day. But there was a little bit smaller crowd due to the rain on Wednesday. I cannot give enough accolades to all the departments that helped us out. I mean, Highway especially, Dirk and his folks. A lot of times, you know, they kind of know. We meet a couple weeks before, and we're like, what does this time frame look like? Pre-fair week, the screening of the dirt, the moving in of the rodeo, all the things that they do for us, the blading to make sure it coincides with the dust proofing, and you know, all these little things that people just take for granted don't just happen. And so for him and his crew to do all that, and then when we get 3 inches of rain, for them to come out and do what they did. And a lot of times I don't even have to ask. They just know what needs to be done. And so by the time I'm making the call, he's like, I'm already on the way. And so for them to scoop out the sludge in the front of the grandstand so people don't get stuck and lose all their shoes out there, and for them to go and try to raise up some of those primitive campsites so people can access them, first of all, big kudos to them. I couldn't ask for more. Camping committee as well. I mean, when we did some of the primitive expansions down there in the alfalfa field, a lot of those areas you don't know until you get that much rain what it's going to look like. So we have a lot of pictures now, and so I think there was 3 or 4 of them that they actually moved in the middle of the week to drier, higher ground, because you just, you do the best you can. Also on Wednesday, we had that concert. A lot of people were questioning. The easy thing would have been to just cancel it. But we did it the best we could, knowing that there was a lot of an investment of time, effort, and money on the part of the taxpayer on the line. So we kind of had a big balancing act. There was a lot, again, nothing is done alone. There was a lot of partners involved in those decisions. So to be able to get a hold of the artist and say, for Ned Ledoux, the opener, would you be willing to go on early so that we can try to get a few songs on before this rain that we know is coming happens? The flexibility of those folks being willing to do that. So when we opened gates, I believe it was an hour or so early, to try to filter folks in and get on. Obviously that didn't happen. We had some lightning, and so we did close down for precautions there. He was willing though, and a lot of people were super excited. He went under the grandstand and he signed every memorabilia and took pictures with anybody that wanted it. So that was really huge on his part. He sure didn't have to. So when the rain came through, we were in close contact with the Weather Service, emergency management, and never underestimate the power of a bunch of farmers on the fair board that know weather. So we didn't take those decisions lightly. We did consider canceling it altogether, but it was such a thin line of lightning coming through and thunder, and working with TMS, our stage and sound, and a lot of people that knew what it was like on site. We had Mackenzie at the gates letting people in. I think Commissioner Gage was also helping there on the gates to let people in. I was kind of in the back, the grandstand area, watching that front. And of course, all our our committee chairs. We had home arts, we had the vendors in the expo. When we knew the rain was coming, we were able to get out on the PA that, hey, heads up, we got some weather coming. It's going to go through fairly quickly, it looks like. So giving folks a heads up so they could shelter in place, and then when it passed through, to be able to pick up the pieces and put on a heck of a concert. So Sawyer Brown did come out and played his full 90 minutes, and people were excited. We did have some people that said they didn't know, but we did our best to get that out on social media. I thought our social media for Fair Week was dynamite. Brody Mueller did a good job helping us with that. So to do it again Wednesday, I don't know what would happen as far as the weather, but I think we played it as well as we could, and were able to do the best with what we were handed. So security for the week, I thought went really well. There's always challenges as far as manpower, but I thought we handled that well with Aberdeen Security and Investigation. There will be some growing pains, but having our recap with the Sheriff's Office and with them, it looks like an area that we'll do it again, having them help with that grandstand crowd control while the Sheriff's Office is dealing with some of the bigger issues out and about on the grounds. So I thought security was a lot better. Vendors were really happy in Machinery Row. We put a lot of money, temporary lighting, helped out a lot there in the outdoor vendors, as well as the new camera that IT put up on the corner of Centennial Village. And then also, of course, we had some of the Aberdeen security just make rounds after the concerts as well. So we gave them a couple golf carts to go in and out between the machinery, because a lot of times you're not seeing that stuff on the cameras in between the vendor areas. So I think that helped as well. And overall, it was a pretty good week as far as security goes. And then Sunday, we had a really good Sunday. I mean, to go from Antique Tractor Pull to Lumberjack Show was a real big improvement on the grandstand front. I think we had about 500-600 tickets that were sold for that, versus normally there's under 50 that aren't involved in the Antique Tractor Pull. So entertainment, if you remember last year, they booked Lumberjack near the front, and then, because it's one of those things, you have that budget, how important is Sunday? Do you want to take 12, because it's $12,000 to do that? So I think they're considering it again. There's been no decisions made, but to have some type of a different entertainment for family on Sunday is a decision that they'll be looking at here. So right now what we're doing is a lot of the recaps. All those committees get together and say, what did we do well? What can we improve on? We've gotten all but, I think, 1 or 2 recap committee meetings done. We are now accepting applications for 2025 as far as Fair Board goes, so kind of having some good conversations with folks around the community. And if you know anybody, just send them our way if they have questions on what's all involved in being on the Fair Board. Biggest challenges going forward are going to be infrastructure and volunteers. I think this board commission has done a great job of helping us out with the expo roof and some other big projects coming in 2025. It looks like you guys passed your preliminary budget, and there's some things that we're going to be able to do with that money, so I appreciate it. And as far as the volunteer front goes, we just start earlier and work harder at it. The Sign Up Genius app has been really good for us, because we can turn it on and off, and it's only like, I want to say $10 a month, so people can already see what stuff is available to help with. So we'll continue working on that. And then as far as upcoming contracts you're going to be seeing from our office soon, we got to renew the clubhouse, the stagehands, and the porta potties. And I know on a fairgrounds front side note, Speedway and the rental land for haying is up for, so we'll be working on those things. Any questions for me?
The Hold'em Expo roof got a true test?
It did. There was one issue around where you seal the fans. The far north fan had a little leakage, but they've come and looked at it, and they said it was because it was blowing sideways. So, and the other issue is on the north wall. There's some things there that have been cut out of the side wall, so that's truly not the roof, so we can't blame it on them. But yes, it was a good test, and there were some issues on the Odie side. I know they are probably looking at needing a new roof here soon too, so.
Sure.
Never ends.
Well, good.
Other questions?
All in all, I heard good reports.
Good.
I was asked yesterday, I was at a meeting, Centennial Village had their board meeting yesterday that I attended, and they asked if I had heard any complaints, and usually if there's a tussle or a brawl or anything, we hear about it, pretty shortly after, and I didn't get any calls this year, not aware that there were any big issues with, people drunk and disorderly or anything like that, so that's always good when you can keep the peace and keep people safe and happy, so.
Yeah,
The social media updates are really nice too for that Wednesday night especially. I mean, it's pretty easy to log onto Facebook and go to the story of the Brown County Fair, and Brody did a good job of keeping us updated as well as possible for, people who are gonna go and then just trying to figure out what the plan was, so that was very good.
I agree. The time that was spent when we had to leave the grandstands Wednesday night, it sure made getting beverages a lot easier, because we're right there.
And I saw all indications from what I'm hearing is they had very good success too, so we'll get those numbers put together.
The rain didn't dampen their sales, that's good.
No, I don't think, sheltering under the grandstand probably helped. We did have one comment about it would be nice to have a PA system under there, because as we were making some of the announcements, it had to come from other people, but,
That's an easy fix, I would think.
All right, well, if you need anything else, let me know, otherwise I'll be back in a couple weeks as soon as we have things finalized.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Oh, you were gonna have
Surplus?
Oh, surplus, yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
didn't get the bleachers,
Oh,
so
were they pretty decent?
they were decent, they would've been 2,900 about, new, they went for 22, but I knew as soon as there's school entities there that it's gonna be tough, 'cause
Sure.
they ended up going to 22, they were bid by the American Legion out of Fort Pierre, and the Ipswich School were fighting over them, so we were out of the game pretty quick, but got a couple bike rack barricades there
Mhm.
for cheap, but, yeah, it was good.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll go back to the consent calendar. Lynn?
Claims and payroll.
Move. Second.
Motion by Denner, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Travel request.
Move. Second.
Motion by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Landfill tonnage report.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Denner. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Lease agreement.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. I didn't know we had a grain cart or a corn hauler or whatever it was called. Now I know,
I think
if we ever
that's
need
the
one.
basketball hoops, I think. They had that gravity wagon with the basketball hoops.
Oh,
They were talking-
that's what I was
They
wondering.
talked to us about it, somebody,
Yeah.
someone while I was out there and asked if they could rent that for,
Oh.
I think they got like pumpkin patch or corn maze
Yeah,
or something.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business come before the Brown County Commission this morning? Carly?
Personnel for exec.
Okay. And Lynn?
I just want to share that absentee voting starts next Friday, September 20th. We will be set up downstairs in the community room. And there's no commission meeting next week, the 17th, due to convention, so let everybody know that now.
All right.
You have sample ballots available or not
They
yet?
will be on the 20th.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we've had a request to go into executive session for personnel. Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are in exec. All right, light is back on. We're back in session, out of exec with no action as a result today. Is there anything else to come before the Brown County Commission this morning?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Denner, second by Weiss to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.